Welcome to part 2 of my video series where I'm replacing my rusted original exhaust system on my Porsche 996 with a DesignTek system that includes the manifolds and silencers. So in this part I'm going to be showing you how I take off the manifolds and the process that I adopted for doing that. So I've managed to get the exhaust off on one side. So these are the catalytic converters down here, which lo and behold, all these are rusted in. So one of my jobs is to free those up and put some new ones in. This is the manifold from this side that I've taken off. You can see inside here that why you would go for a sports exhaust, because there's not much in the way of free flowing from those. So I spent a couple of days trying to get the exhaust manifold off of this side. So these are the exhaust hangers. So what you'll find if you attempt this job is that the bolts that hold on the silencer are all seized up. So I had to cut those off. So I've invested in a Dremel for the first time. So that was a pig of a job. And then now it's come to this is the bottom, and shows you the exhaust outlets. And as you can see, I've got all of the threads basically snapped. I left these long, these particular ones, because I bought the Stomsky kit. So I'm going to leaving these on to help me position that, and then you use that kit to drill out the studs. That's the theory anyway. As you can see, the hanger here is heavily rusted. I would attempt that, but trying to get to the nuts up here that hold it on the engine is really difficult. And I'm just, basically every nut on this car that I touch underneath shears off. So if I shear these off, then I'm in real trouble. So these are really solid, they're not going anywhere, so I think I'm going to leave them. So I'm waiting for the Stomsky's kit to arrive, and then I'll do this side. I've now got to take off the exhaust manifold on the other side of the engine, and I'll show you that now. Okay, so we're now lying under the car on the driver's side. So you can see got the same problem as on the other side. The exhaust hanger is extremely rusted, but again I've got the same problem with that. You can see the box through there, and there's my manifold nuts. So as you can see, they are completely rusted onto the manifold. I can't even make out what shape they are. So as with the other side, I'm going to cut here with an angle grinder to get the manifold off, and then that will give me better access onto the bolts. And I'm going to, as with the other side, I used a a Dremel to cut them here around the top, so that just leaves me the stud left over. So on the other side I tried taking some of them out with a socket and so on, and they just sheared off. You can see here that the manifold is pretty much disintegrated. So yeah, I've just noticed that. So oh my god, it's in such a state. Yeah, so I'll show you come back underneath once I've completed using the angle grinder, and then show you what how I use the Dremel to take off the top of the bolts. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so after a considerable time, a lot of swearing, I've managed to get to angle grind the manifold off of this side, and this will then give me enough access room for my Dremel. So the Dremel will be going around these tops of the nuts to remove them, and then that will give me the remaining thread that's in the flange here, which is about 10 mil. So I'll be left with 10 mil of thread on each one. The pig of a one to get to is this one in there, which is at the end, because we've got this pipe, this water pipe that feeds the water pump. So I'm just going to have to cross that one when I come to it. As you can see, the support bracket is well and truly knackered, and as you saw before, the manifold is blimey, is completely rusted through. Okay, see you in the next video when I'll Dremel the tops off. Right, sorry guys, that was my wife telling me that it's 3:30, and we've got a little Dacian that that needs a walk. So I'm going to be calling it a day here, and then I'll pick up tomorrow and Dremel the tops of these bolts off, and then get the manifold out, and then I'll be left with the studs. And then I've got to work out a way of locating the template for the Stomsky kit onto the studs, because normally that kit relies on you having got a few of the studs out, which, as you saw from the other side, I've got, and this side is even worse, I've got no hope of getting any studs out on this side. Okay, cheers guys, see you in a bit. Okay, so now I'm under the car, and I'm going to be attempting to Dremel these nuts off. So as you can see, there's just there's no definition to them at all. They're all rusted and misshapen, so it's difficult to distinguish what they actually were. Anyway, right, so here we go. Obviously I've got to watch this pipe here. This is metal. I don't want to be putting a hole in that. Right, so where did that go? Oh, that's unfortunate. I can't see where that went. Anyway, right, so that's got that part off. As you can see, it's well, I'll come back and I've got some other Dremel connections to sort of flatten this out, but that's good enough with this particular tool. So I'll do the next one and then I'll switch off and join you when I've done them all. Okay, right, I'm going to switch off now, and you've basically seen the procedure, and I'll carry on, put this back on once I've done them all. Okay, so picking up from where I left you in the last video, I've now managed to remove the manifold and Dremeled all the bolts off, and then the only one I couldn't do was this one here, I should say, principally because I just couldn't get in with this pipe in the way, even though I did sort of try and move it out the way. So in the end I just snapped, used the socket set and it snapped anyway. So I'm now left with all of the studs and ready for me to, once I've got this Storm Ski kit, to use that. So unfortunately I did discover something. So if you look here at this nut, this bolt and thread, the aluminium is all corroded away. So I've actually cleaned that up. So I'm going to use some JB Weld to fill this back in, because otherwise when I fit the gasket it's going to possibly, well, I'm worried that this bolt is going to be compromised, and I think this is corroded because the exhaust gases were escaping. So yeah, I've got a bit of work to do there, and I'll just show you the manifold now it's off the car. Okay, so these are the two manifolds. This is the one on the driver's side that I was just talking about. So you can see how corroded this is. I mean, that's not much longer driving and this would have all corroded. I could have been compromised with the exhaust manifold snapping or something along those lines. So if we compare it to the other side, obviously this is a lot thicker. It's rusted, but it's a lot thicker. So I'm not quite sure why the driver's side is so much worse than the near side passenger, but it seems to be the case. So my next job is to try and JB weld that that sort of corrosion that I showed you, and my kit's also come today, so the kit I'm going to use to drill out the studs. So once I've done that, I'll show you the process of drilling out the studs using that kit. Okay, cheers.